YouTube, what's up? So right now we are on the second episode of Town to Town. What is Town to Town, you ask? I take a city in the United States or all over the entire planet, and I tell you guys the history of the city in professional wrestling. I don't want to hear about how the city was built. That's boring. Last time I did one of these, I did Washington, D.C., my hometown. That's where I am right now. Donald Trump's down the street. But on this episode, we're going to be picking where WWE Extreme Rules 2018 will be held. At Extreme Rules this year, we will be seeing the WWE Championship being on the line, of AJ Styles defending his title against the Bulgarian Brute, the almighty Grand Poobah Professional Wrestling, RUSEV. A 30-man Iron Man match between Dolph Ziggler defending his Intercontinental Championship against Seth Rollins. An Extreme Rules match for the Raw Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss defending her title against Nia Jax. Asuka versus Carmella, and the stipulation hasn't been announced yet when I'm recording this video. It's probably going to be like Ellsworth on the pole. And the almighty leader of the Balor Club, Finn Balor, takes on Constable Corbin. Yeah, interesting. And what will probably end up being the main event, because that's WWE. Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley.
Oh, yeah, this is the shit. Kill me now!
But on this episode, we will be talking about the city of bridges, the city of champions, Steel City. And by the way, Ben, who's the best quarterback from Pennsylvania? Is it you? We will be covering Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Play the intro.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
When we're talking about Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, there's a lot of wrestling history in this city that you probably didn't know. You're probably too busy worrying about the other thousands of really famous wrestling cities in Pennsylvania. But it all comes down to one thing. You can have a really popular wrestling city, but if you don't have a famous wrestler from it, it doesn't mean anything. So who is from Pittsburgh?
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more.
Of course, we have to go off with a banger and talk about one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. He also won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck, Kurt Angle. We also have Attitude Era star Steve Blackman, ECW star Blue Meanie, ECW star Shane Douglas, ECW star Francine, 205 Live star Drew Gulak, former WCW and WWE Cruiserweight Billy Kidman, Brian Knobbs, Mike Quackenbush. Quackenbush. ECW, WWE, WCW, TNA star Raven, Stevie Richards, the almighty late and great WWE Hall of Famer Bruno Sammartino, and his son David Sammartino. The greatest thing going on Monday Night Raw right now, Elias, ECW star The Sandman, Gene Snitsky, independent wrestling star David Starr, WWE Hall of Famer Big John Studd, and the almighty GOAT, Sylvester Terkay. What, you forgot about him? I didn't. I have this poster on my wall.
Road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more.
When looking back in wrestling history, we all know about the territory system. The NWA territory system basically ran the entire wrestling landscape, with different sections of the country being divided in their own NWA territory. Now, a lot of the northeastern area was controlled by the CWC, that's Capital Wrestling Corporation, not Cruiserweight Classic, which would eventually become the WWF. But at least the first documented wrestling event ever to be held in Pittsburgh happened on February 2nd, 1963, where Buddy Rogers defended and retained his newly created WWF Championship against a man named Franklin Pickens. I say newly created because the WWF was just came to be, where McMahon and Toots Mahone actually left the NWA after a lot of different disputes on how the world title was actually being defended in their territory. And only 2 days after defending the title against Pickens, Rogers would again defend the world championship against Bruno Sammartino in a 2-out-3 falls match where he would defend and retain the title. But the first ever NWA WCW event wouldn't be held in Pittsburgh until October 7th, 1989, where Ric Flair defended and retained his NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Terry Funk in a Texas death match in Pennsylvania. That makes sense. It could have just gone to Texas for that, or just called it a Pennsylvania death match. That doesn't sound as cool, does it? But the first ever real WWF pay-per-view wouldn't be held until SummerSlam 1995. That's not the good SummerSlam. That's the one where, you know, Diesel defended the title against King Mabel. That's all I have to say. Also, the 1998 King of the Ring would also be held in Pittsburgh, where Kane defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWF Championship in a first blood match. And that title reign would be infamous because it lasted a day. As a mayoral candidate, he deserves better. Austin would beat Kane the next day in Ohio for the championship. Nothing good comes out of Ohio, does it? I mean, something good did come out of Ohio, and he went to LA. Also, WWF Vengeance 2001 will be held in Pittsburgh, where yes, Chris Jericho defeated The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same night to become the undisputed world champion of the WWF. Besides that, like No Way Out 2005 would be held there, and Undertaker actually finally beat someone named Reigns, Luther Reigns. I'll see my way out now. Pittsburgh will also hold the first ever bragging rights, which is like Survivor Series 2017. But the last major pay-per-view to be held in Pittsburgh was WWE Roadblock End of the line. That pay-per-view sucked, didn't it though? Sasha and Charlotte had that 30-woman Iron Man match that just wasn't as good as Bayley's, and Roman Reigns took on Kevin Owens.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more.
While there are a lot of promotions in Pennsylvania, I mean like a crap ton of them, the only ones held in Pittsburgh right now is Keystone State Wrestling Alliance and International Wrestling Cartel. But yeah guys, it's a video if you really enjoyed. In the comments down below, what city should I do next? If it's Chicago or Boston, Phoenix, Arizona. Is there anything in Phoenix? I don't really know. WrestleMania was there once. Or Seattle, Los Angeles, Columbus, or even Brooklyn. Just let me know in the comments down below. Tell me if you liked this video, and make sure to like, comment, share, always subscribe, and we outie.
Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do, I do it big. Yeah, screaming ass now.